Okay, so I've done this video to help you see how the interface works and to facilitate the process of you creating your registration for districts. I don't know if Tom mentioned this or not at the district meeting, but this is the software that is used in over 43 states in the United States for the state and international conferences. Harry Tingley has decided to purchase the software as well, and he's going to use it for states. So it's kind of cool that we get an opportunity to figure out how it works and kind of beta test it as a district. So when you log in, you're going to use the username and password that you use for National DECA and the URL that I provided in the email. You're going to click on registration. Now right now I'm logged in as Drake-It, and you're going to populate the fields that have an asterisk. Confirm and make sure that all of that stuff is correct. If you want to change your password, I believe you can do that here, although I don't know why you'd want to do that. And then you want to include in here what your check and the check number is and any special notes that you want to send to us that'll appear on your invoice. So I'm going to go ahead and come out of here and just go to Westford Academy's site because I don't want to mess up anything on the Drake-It site. So once you log in, you're going to click registration again. And the first thing you're going to see on here is the primary advisor. I've added a couple more advisors. You need to add your chaperones and advisors on here so that we can invoice correctly. If you don't know exactly what their name is right now and you want to put to be determined, that's fine, but we need counts and we need to make sure that these invoices are accurate. So please include everyone that you intend on bringing, not just the students, the adults as well. So you're going to click on Add Non-Student to add the teachers or chaperones that you're bringing along. If there's an asterisk, you have to fill it in. For the fields, if you want to use a generic email for this, it's perfectly fine, but when you put in the information, particularly the phone number, I know for a fact that Harry has had trouble in the past at the state conference trying to get in touch with advisors when things are crazy in the heat of the moment. So having these correct phone numbers for chaperones is going to be a must. So please make sure that you fill in those fields correctly. I'll go ahead and add myself one more time. And, if you have any special notes that you want to include, please include them here. I'm going to click Save to that, and you'll see on the list that it did add me. Now, if you make mistakes or you want to modify it, go ahead and edit the event, or simply, if you have duplicates or whatever, just click Delete. Okay, your next order of business is to go ahead and add students. Before you do that, though, I want to call your attention to a couple of things. You want to save and finish later relatively often on this, because what ends up happening is it times out after 20 minutes, and we all know with software online how annoying that can be. So just please make sure that you save early and often so that you avoid that aggravation. Down in here too, if you haven't populated that field in the initial registration, you can go ahead and do the check number in this area as well. When you go to click Finish Registration, if you don't have it done correctly, there's a bunch of different checks and balances. It will give you red notices up on the top of the field to let you know what's wrong. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and add students. What's going to happen is it's linked directly to whatever you've paid for and the student names and their grades for all of National DECA. A couple of things on this. If they are a first-year participant, as you know, they can do the PMK, PHTs, and all of those different categories that are designed for first years only. You need to make sure that this information is accurate and that it's not different from what National DECA currently knows. So if they're first-timers, it's a 1. If it's their second year, a 2, and so on. If you were to come in here and change every single one of these to student, it's going to be absolutely painful, especially for a huge amount of kids. So there's this little handy dandy tool that you can click Select All, and it will automatically change all of the people on the list to a student. If you have a student that is registered but is not participating, go ahead and just leave them as Select so that they don't get included in the mix. Okay, so to show you how this works without going through and putting the correct answers in for all of our students, I've just populated a few of them. And then I'm going to go ahead down on the bottom and click Save. So again, it's looking for you to incorporate the student, participant, and how many years, and then they'll pop open on this list. You can do them all at once or do them a little bit of a time, whatever you want to do. Once they're incorporated on the list, you're going to click on Edit and Select Events, and it's going to be strictly for this student. If you want to include emails in that information, you're more than welcome to do so. Down on the bottom are all of the different events that you guys told Tom and Jim that would be appearing at this conference, okay? So first things first, if there are events on here that you want to register for that are not on the list, I need to know that as soon as possible because I'm only going on what I know from the information I was given, and I'm not beyond a mistake. If something's supposed to be on here and it isn't, you need to let me know that as soon as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and create Josh as a team event because I know for a fact he is in a team event because I want to show you how this works. Down on the bottom is your team decision-making events. I'm going to go ahead and check off that he's in that event and say that he's in team number 1 and click Save. Then it's going to pop me back into the list of my students, and I'm going to put Dan Gianasca as his partner. And the way that you do that, you click Edit and Select, you populate sports and whatever, and just give the partner the same number of the person that you did before. Now I'm going to have Nick Giovino and Dorothy Goodwin here be the second team for sports and entertainment marketing to show you how this works. You're going to click Edit and Select Events, drag down to the event, populate the field, and then simply click, a 2. And then for Miss Goodwin, I'll do the same thing, and I'll have her also participate in this event and say that she is part of Team 2. For the events that have like 1 to 3 participants, this is how you're going to do it as well. And if you take a look at the actual list for those particular events, they also include, which team number is this. If you're going to do individual events, I'll go ahead and do that for this student right now. You simply just check off what they're competing in and click Save. Now please be careful when you do this because the software automatically knows which test to set up for students. And as you know, certain ones take a hospitality test and not a marketing test in the individual series and the team one. So just be really, really careful when you populate that. In addition, we have a maximum amount of entries based on what you told them at the meeting. So this is kind of a system of checks and balances that won't allow you to exceed how many different groups we said we were going to bring to the conference. So once I click Save on this, it's going to go ahead and yell at me because I didn't select an event, my bad. So I'll go ahead and just choose one randomly and click Save. And then it tells you right here, it's like, a haunt, what's going to happen. It's not finished until you hit the registration button. I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Finish for later, like I told you guys later. And then I'll come back in and do some more registration to finish this. Okay, a couple of last things to just go over with you guys, and then I'll be done with this for now. It's going to keep a tally of how much money you owe based on what you've input. Okay, so you can click View Registration at any time, and it will summarize that information for you. And it is set up so that each team only gets charged $5 per test. So I just want to quickly show you this. When you click View Registration as you're going through the process, it's going to put the information on here for what's your chapter information. In addition, it's going to tell you quantity of advisors, how many students, and how we're going to charge them for their tests. You'll notice here that you get charged $5 per team, and it will delineate that and tell you how many participants and what the total invoice is. There's also a message down in here on where you send the payment to, and you can also view by event if you wanted to do that, just to kind of double check yourself and make sure that everything is good to go. Okay, last couple of points here. If you have questions, obviously, please either text me, email me, or both, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And finally, when you're done and you've viewed and you've reviewed, then and only then you click Finish the registration. When you do that, it'll finalize the whole bill, and up until the 16th, there will be no penalty if you go in there and change it. We know instantaneously when you make changes to it. After the 16th, however, though, you need to let us know via email so that we can make changes and overwrite what you've already submitted. Last couple of points on here. If you're viewing the events and stuff is wrong, then what you're going to want to do is click delete and start over. I'm going to do that now just so that I don't mess John up when he's going to do his registration. And I just wanted to do this to let you know that when you delete people out, it doesn't delete them off your list. You can always come back in and add the student. They still will be on the list. So when you're deleting, you're only deleting from what they're assigned to as registered, not deleting them from your list. Okay, tried to make this simple for you guys. If you have questions, please let me know. Thanks.